Hello and welcome to Artistic Connections. I'm Clarence Reynolds and thanks for joining us. Artistic Connections showcases local arts organizations and how they strengthen the community by connecting you with creative opportunities and experiences. Join me as we meet people from Central Florida who are involved in making our community a wonderful place to live, work, and play. ArtReach Orlando supports art projects that foster creativity and hope, develop self-esteem, and offer children a platform to reflect, revision, and rejoice. And here to tell us more about it is Bickley Wilson, founder and executive director of ArtReach Orlando. Welcome, Bickley.
Thank you, Clarence.
Tell us a little bit about ArtReach Orlando and its mission here in Central Florida.
ArtReach came out of just a dream I had, you know, of having, at first it was going down to Hannibal Square and buying a house and having a place where kids could come. The only rules are you don't paint each other or the walls. And then I had somebody who was a little smarter than me that said, well, maybe we should do something different. So it just, you know, it just evolved. I got somebody who wasn't afraid to make phone calls, to make connections. And the mission is to serve children in underserved, underprivileged areas, children in schools where arts have been wiped out, to go to community centers where we could just set up a project. And even with mothers, you know, we did a project at Hope Community Center and we did a mural, a mosaic, and the kids did the mosaic, but the mothers ended up helping. Oh, wow. So it was, you know, it was a win-win for everybody.
So what ages does ArtReach deal with, and what kinds of other projects do you have for children? Right
now, we have been focused on, well, a lot of different things. Middle school. We've done a lot of projects, Corner Lake, Conway, Howard Middle School. We've done projects in all of those schools. Zebra Coalition. We did a tree for the Orlando Museum. It's okay to sparkle. My dream is to do it with some little kids, you know, to maybe 6 years old. Like I say, to go to a community center or a trailer park and just put out stuff and let people come.
Why? What kind of impact do you think that has on children particularly?
It just builds their self-esteem. We did a project, and this is an ongoing project on bullying, and we're working with the Orange County Public Schools. And to do the art and to be recognized as, wow, you know, that's really good. It just builds self-esteem. It lets them know that they have something that's worthy.
And unique.
And unique, absolutely, to them. Yeah. And somebody says, you know, it made me a better person, a better writer, a better actor. We had visual arts, creative writing, and theater combined in this project, which we're going to continue to do. And the kids were just like overwhelmed. One young man said, you know, I didn't really like poetry, and I thought it was going to be awful, but you know what, it was fun, and I've started to doing it in my spare time. Wow. It's like, and that he was an 8th grader.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Do you find that art is something for children as sort of a gateway to self-discovery, that they're finding who they are through the processes?
Definitely.
The opportunities that they have?
Definitely. You know, we've done vision boards, and even their first project was in Bithlo, and some of them were like 5 years old, and even those had a vision. I want to be a fashion designer. The vision, in Howard Middle School, there was a young girl who was an incredible artist, but she wasn't getting any, you know, affirmation for it. And I think she realized, every time I'd come in the room, she'd say, come here. She'd show me her pictures, and she sang to me. I mean, this young girl, she was 8, wow. 8th grade, incredible. But she wasn't getting that kind of, and I think even to get it from an outsider, parents one thing, but if an outsider says, wow, you know.
It's an objective.
Exactly.
More objective.
Exactly. So she was, and one of my goals going forward is to try to get some mentors to come in. If somebody says, you know, I'd like to be on television, maybe I'll ask you to come. Would you talk to these kids and say, this is how I did it? You know, I went through some bullying myself. This is what it took, but here I am today. And just to bring that part of it to them to see that, you know, you can do it.
And does ArtReach use any kind of curriculum, or what would a youngster be engaged in if they were to get to the organization and say, I don't know what I like to do?
We do use, it's a program, like in the bullying program, and we partnered with the Kennedy Center, the Orlando rep, and the Kennedy Center program. So we had altered books, which was visual art, creative writing, which I did, which was poetry, and then Jonathan Jackson from the Orlando rep came in and we worked together to put that poetry into something visual. So they literally acted out their poems, you know, with motions. And it was just incredible.
So this is not just the visual arts, this is performing arts, everything.
We want to do it all. We started out, you know, visual arts. We're going to paint and color and do all that. But it's just so much bigger. We've got an artist that we're talking to now who does music. You know, I just happen to believe that art goes into your heart. It connects with math. It connects with science. It's a lot of people think, you know, art, okay, what's the value? But we really believe that it is very valuable.
You know, some people are even saying that the STEM education with science, technology, engineering, and math should be STEAM education with the arts as the A as well. The MFA is the new MBA because it's one thing that can't be outsourced.
Exactly.
And are you finding that kids are actually looking that they see, I might be able to have a career or at least a hobby, develop a hobby doing this?
When we asked the young people what they wanted to do, there were 3 or 4 out of 20 who wanted to design video games. We had 3 fashion designers. We had an illustrator. So they were very, very tied in to that concept of art. And one of the best stories is, one of the teachers we worked with was an art teacher and a science teacher. Her art got taken away. After the principal, after he worked with us and saw what we did, he gave her permission to teach her science through art.
Really?
Yes. So STEAM.
Right.
Exactly.
It really is.
I mean, can't you just see Dancing the Galaxies? Or I mean, it just is like, oh my God, yes.
But you learned, we all learned our, you know, multiplication tables through music. You know, art is really a great teacher, and this really puts it all together.
It totally is, yes.
And Bickley, thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much. This has been fun, and I love your enthusiasm.
My pleasure. For more information about ArtReach Orlando, please check out artreachorlando.org. That is it for this edition of Artistic Connections. And remember, there is a world of discovery waiting for you right in your own backyard. So get out there and enjoy the arts.